Coral reefs are often called the rainforests of the sea, and with good reason. Though they cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, they support around 25% of all marine species. Today I'll talk about why these remarkable ecosystems are dying at an alarming rate, and why it matters, especially in the Florida Keys. Here we have a map of the tract of all reefs in the Florida Keys here. Do you want to zoom in on that? The Florida Keys are home to the only barrier coral reef in North America, and one of the largest in the world. But the reef system is under serious threat. What's causing the trouble? The main culprit, rising seawater temperatures. Corals live in a delicate balance. Many of them host a tiny algae called zooxanthellae. They give corals color and help them get nutrients. When sea temperatures rise just a little, by around 1 degree Celsius, which is about 2 degrees Fahrenheit, corals become stressed. The algae leaves and the coral turns white, and this process is called bleaching. Bleaching isn't just cosmetic. If the heat stress continues, corals can die. Here we have a heat map and before and after of the dead coral. In the Florida Keys, scientists are seeing extreme heat stress levels that are previously unheard of. For example, reefs in the region have experienced Alert 2 for bleaching conditions, meaning severe, widespread bleaching and mortality or likely. NOAA Satellite Information Services provided that information. According to the USGS Science Data Catalog, data from the region showed underwater temperatures recorded at reef sites from 2009 to 2022, confirming this trend. In short, the water is hotter for longer, and coral reefs are suffering the consequences. Here we have dying and bleached dead coral. Why does it matter when coral dies? 3 key reasons. Disruption of food chains. Because reefs support huge biodiversity. Remember, 25% of marine life. When corals vanish, the habitat for fish and other organisms collapse. Threats to livelihood. In places like Florida Keys, fishing, recreation, and tourism depend heavily on healthy reefs. When reefs decline, so do the jobs and incomes that come with it. Loss of natural coastal protection. Reefs act as a natural breakwaters, absorbing waves, protecting shorelines from storms and erosion. When they deteriorate, coastal communities become more vulnerable. Here we have some restoration efforts. The good news. There are efforts underway to protect and restore these reefs. In the Florida Keys, scientists and conservation groups are actively working to rescue and grow more resilient coral species, but the challenge is big and urgent. The UNEP, the UN Environment Program, says if we continue on our current path, the outlook is dire. Global assessments suggest that by 2050, with continued warming, we could lose 70 to 90% of coral reefs. Even with 1.5 degrees Celsius of warming, losses could reach nearly 100% in some regions. That means ecosystems collapse, fisheries suffer, coastlines lose protection. The ripple effects are profound. So here's the takeaway. Coral reefs are tiny in area, but mighty in importance, supporting 25% of marine life while covering less than 1% of the sea floor. Rising sea temperatures are driving widespread bleaching and reef death, particularly evident in the Florida Keys. The consequences are more than ecological. They affect our food, our economy, and our coastlines. And while restoration and protection efforts are underway, they must be paired with global action to reduce warming and safeguard our oceans. If we want to keep the rainforests of the sea alive for marine life, for people, and for our planet, the time is now. Thanks for watching, and remember, what happens under the sea matters to our world.